Welcome, collectors and hobby enthusiasts. Thank you so much for tuning into this special edition of Diecast Emporium. In this showcase video, we're going to be taking a look at my collection of HO or 187 scale sanitation and recycling vehicles. Eventually, my plan is to have a recycling facility on my HO scale layout. And until that point, these kind of just sit off to one side. Occasionally, you'll see the garbage trucks and different vehicles around town and the HO files just out on the layout. So, without further ado, let's go over each and every one of these vehicles. And again, as we go through this video at the end, here's what I want from you, specifically the HO scale modelers and that are very familiar with what's out there in this hobby, occasionally more so than I am. If you have a vehicle or a truck that you don't see in this video that you believe would fit in very well with these, please leave me a comment at the end of this video with that suggestion. It would be greatly appreciated. All right, let's get started. So the first one we have on the spinny table here is the Boley International 7600 tractor. Again, this is just basically a fleet vehicle. You'll see it towing our dump trailer. Again, you'll just see it around town doing various different tasks. It may occasionally have the lowboy on it with the recycling loader that you'll see at the end of this video. Just a very useful piece of equipment that we have in our fleet. Next, another Boley truck. This is our International 7600 dump truck. I did swap out the cab on this. The stock version comes with a Durastar cab, which is the International 4300. I will, at some point, change the wheels to a much more modern-looking truck that goes with the 7600 cab. These wheels and tires obviously are a little bit older, kind of intended for either the older Durastar cab or, more specifically, the 4900, which would be a lot better for this truck. But for now, it does the job. Again, you'll see it occasionally around town doing various tasks on the layout, but it's still a nice-looking model. All right, the next truck is one of the first customs I did, and I have to give credit to a gentleman on Facebook. Again, I'm not very good with names, so I can't remember who it was. It was somebody earlier this year that posted in one of the HO or 187 scale modeling groups on Facebook. So the cab is a standard 4900 International cab by Boley, but the body, believe it or not, is from a Matchbox casting called the Poop King. Yeah, you heard that right. So I took a Dremel and cut off the standard cab over cab that comes with the Matchbox Poop King, and I modified the frame a little bit so that it would sit somewhat decently and look acceptable. Painted the top of the porta potties, and then added some lights on the back. Also added a bit of string towards the front of the cab so it gives it the appearance of the clean-out hoses in green. Overall, I think it turned out halfway decent. And because the Poop King is such a readily available casting still, I still see it on the pegs around here. I might buy a few more and do a few more of these just to add and build up the fleet in the future. Again, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this truck. I think it's interesting, and I really think it turned out quite well. All right, you can't have a sanitation or recycling fleet without some garbage trucks. I have a fleet of about 5 of these on the layout. This one is the 4300 cab, or the Durastar cab, again by Boley. When Boley initially did this, and then since then Walthers Scene Master has picked it up, they initially offered these in orange, yellow, and obviously white. If you haven't already figured it out, I'm kind of going for a white theme for these vehicles. So, very nice casting. It actually is quite functional. Not only does the back of the truck open up, and you can see the trash compactor in the back, but also the little garbage can be moved and tilted up. So pretty cool. I certainly enjoy it. Obviously, the amber or orange beacon lights on top add detail to it. Certainly a good example of a modern US or North American style garbage truck. Now, I mentioned I have a fleet of about 5 of these. Some of them are the Durastar cab, and some of them are the International 7600 cab. Now, there is a GMC Top Kick white garbage truck that exists. However, the only ones that I've been able to find are on eBay, and of course the scalpers have them astronomically priced. So maybe one day if I find it at a trade show or something for a reasonable price, I might pick up a GMC Top Kick. Just to kind of have all 3 in the fleet. But for now, I think 5 garbage trucks is more than enough. And again, occasionally you will see these in the HO files just around town or on the streets. So those are the sanitation or garbage trucks. Next one I have to show you is the last of the Boley vehicles. This is an International 4900 roll-off dumpster truck. So the cab that comes on this is a red Durastar, if memory serves me correct. So I swapped that out, put on a 4900 cab, obviously a white cab. I'll be honest, I'm sure they exist, but I've never seen a purple roll-off dumpster in my life, so eventually I'm going to paint that. I might paint it either black to match the other dumpster in the fleet that you'll see here in a minute, or Walthers actually makes green waste management style dumpsters, so I might opt to go with that. Not quite sure, but I can tell you this, I'm not going to stick with purple. The Outriggers that you see on the truck are just modeled into the casting. They're not functional, but again, it's nice to have them there. I'd rather have them there than not have anything. But overall, it makes the profile of the truck look more realistic, and I'm okay with that. The roll-off functions do work. It is designed to roll off and roll on. You just got to be a little bit careful with it because, again, the clips that lock the dumpster onto the truck and the whole roll-off mechanism is done in plastic, so make sure you don't overdo it and be a little bit careful with it. Okay. This is the First Gear Mac Terrapro front end loader. So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I purchased this when it first came out, and I was so excited to have something like this in HO scale that I probably should have done more research before I bought it. The reason I say that, model looks great. The Mac Terrapro is a cool-looking truck just as is. However, nothing is functional on this model. Nothing works. Back end doesn't open. But moreover than that, the front loader mechanism, which is what this truck is supposed to represent, is fixed in the position that you currently see it. It does not move. Here's my big issue with that. When I paid for this, this was over $40. Back in the late 90s, Matchbox released a $6 toy that they made of a front-end dumpster-style truck exactly like this, with fully functioning front loader arms that worked. In the late 90s for $6. So I expected a quality company like First Gear to engineer this into their casting. Now, maybe this was something Mac wanted done. I'm sure there's a reason for it. As a collector, I was just disappointed. It's kind of like when you were younger and your parents said, "I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed." It just hurt that much more. You kind of would rather have them mad at you than disappointed. It's still a great truck. It's still a great casting. If you have it on your layout just sitting, it looks fine. But if they were going to mold it in one position, I would have liked it to have been molded where it's folded down in front of the truck, kind of at rest, where I've seen the trucks parked up. I've never seen the trucks parked up with the arms held here. To me, that would be a strain on the hydraulics and everything else. It's just not a realistic parked position. But I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for that. I just don't know. So we won't harp on this too long. Again, if you're into Macs, if you're into recycling trucks, garbage trucks, or whatever, I'm sure you will buy it if you don't already have it in your collection. For me, it was a huge disappointment. Next, this is the Mac LR with Mcniel's ZR side loader. Fool me once, fool me twice kind of thing. This, nothing is functional on this at all. The side loader is fixed in the down position, which I'm okay with. At least that's a realistic parked position. It is fully one color, which again looks good for those customizers out there that may want to either respray this or just add some decals to it. And the LR, again, is a modern Mac truck. It looks pretty good. But it would have been so much better, especially at this price point, if something worked on it. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So, here's where First Gear redeems themselves. And they redeem themselves in a big way. This is the Mac Granite with tub-style roll-off container, dumpster style. So this is a brand new release, just came out within the past 2 weeks or so. There's 3 different versions of this available, if I'm not mistaken. There's this version, the white version with a black tub. There is a white version with a red tub, and a red version with a black tub. Here's what's most important. This thing is extremely functional. Everything works. The roll-off function works. You can take the dumpster off completely, set it off by itself. It's got tons and tons of detail. The tires are real rubber, so are the mud flaps. You even have some equipment over here. And if you look up here at the Mack Bulldog, they even had the forethought to add that separately. What I mean by that is it comes in the box, not attached, so that there's no chance that maybe it would get separated or broken during shipping. So once the collector gets it, he or she can put it on himself. Great forward thinking there by First Gear. Big props to them. So, if this is the direction that they're going in, I can certainly get on board with this. This is the quality product I would expect from a company that's been around that long and that has a reputation like First Gear. Okay, let's get going. This is the Zyklon Models International 7600 vac truck. So, there were 4 different versions of this produced. There's obviously this version, the white version with upgraded wheels. There's a red version and a red version with upgraded wheels, rubber tires. So, very, very nice truck. Really not much to say other than it's very nice, very detailed. Again, it is a static model, meaning that the vac hose doesn't swing out or anything like that. But in this case, it's worth the high asking price because you're paying for a premium hand-built model. And certainly, if you take out the Matchbox real working rigs, it's a great casting, I'm going to be honest with you, but it does still have the Matchbox name associated with it, which might turn off some collectors. This is really the only purpose-built adult collectible vac truck in 1/87 scale that exists. So if this is your thing, again, I wouldn't hesitate to jump on board and purchase it. And the last thing that we will take a look at. This is the Volvo L180H wheel loader with waste handler bucket made by First Gear. This is a pretty functional model. There's a couple different versions of this loader that have been announced and that are out. This version with the waste handler bucket and then the standard version with just a wheel loader bucket. But the differences don't stop there. So because this machine would often be seen working in recycling yards, it doesn't have treaded tires. It actually has the smooth tires, which look very good. There you can see there's no tread on the tires. And the waste handling bucket is functional. You can open this up as well. And of course, as every wheel loader model should do, it does articulate across the pivot point. So, collectors, there you go. That's my relatively small HO scale sanitation and recycling collection. Again, I mentioned this at the very beginning of the video, but it bears repeating. If you know of a truck, a vehicle in the sanitation sect, the recycling sect, that I don't own in 1/87 scale, that you didn't see in this video, please, by all means, suggest it in one of the comment section below. I am looking to add to my fleet of vehicles, especially if there is a recycling or a garbage dump, a building out there that I can add to the layout. I definitely want to have more vehicles that would complement it and make it look great. Otherwise, please let me know which of these vehicles is your favorite down in the comments section below. And as always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Until next time, take care, be safe. I'll see you in the next review.